Hey everyone, Blaze here, welcome back to another video. This is gonna be, I don't know how long it's gonna be, but probably not that long because I'm filming on my iPod because my camcorder down there is letting me down big time. I need a new camera. So, this is basically going to be a quick overview of my collection slash room where my collection lives. 2 years ago, I basically talked about redesigning my entire room and like basically painting and everything. I've updated a bunch of stuff in here over the years. It's not finished, and that's the kind of the reason why it's been so long since I've made one of these videos. It's because I kind of wanted to finish it, but I'm now using this video as future motivation to myself to finish this freaking room off, because I basically did 90% of it and then just stopped at the final 10% and got lazy, to be honest. But anyway, so before, you might remember, you probably wouldn't, but I had two Billy bookcases here, two Billy bookcases in the cupboard, and just a single one of these things over here in the corner. You can't see my finger, there it is. But yeah, but there's been quite an expansion, if I can get the words right. So yeah, we got a whole 3 more of those. Although actually this is a different one. This isn't the same one I had before. So I got a new set of shelves here. That's where all my movies, video games, and like non-anime stuff basically goes in there. I've done these shelves up here. I used to have these just hung on the wall with nails. I've got these really nice, really cheap shelves from IKEA. And by the way, other things I've done in here, like I've painted the whole ceiling. This used to be like dark blue with those glow-in-the-dark stars on it. The wall used to be cream, and now the wall is dark blue, so I basically swapped. Anyway, this is like the second darkest blue, like the penultimate whatever darkest blue that B&Q do here in the UK. I'm not really sure why I picked it. I just liked it. I wanted a dark colour. I like living in a dark space. That's why my videos always tend to be dark. It's because I don't like living in bright spaces around bright colours and stuff. But anyway, Godzilla Criterion collection there. That's all the movies in paper sleeves because, oh my god, they're so annoying to get out of that. So once I'm done actually finally watching all those, they'll go back in after that. Although you can get some neat custom cases of that on Etsy. Anyway, so I did some more plush shelves that go around here. It's not complete yet. Little Lupin collection, Holy Grails here, the two big wind-up plushies from Animate. Those are stupidly rare. And then the Eccentric Family plush collection, which is also stupidly rare, but awesome. Anyway, so then we got some more cheaper ones. These are so small that I kind of feel like I could definitely obviously do some more above it. So I'm thinking I might end up getting another one of these shelves and just trying that and see how that looks. Anyway, and then we got some cool images here that my best friend, Rock Dave, got me. These are going to go on the wall properly at some point, but for now they're here. So I've got a big wind up and Black Lagoon. And here's one of my favourite new spaces. So this wall, like with these shelves as well, but this wall used to be completely empty. So now I've got 3 B2 posters. We've got my Area E8, Noa Izumi, Best Girl, and Maytel, Eternal Fantasy poster. I picked the Eternal Fantasy one because, well, I'm sure you can figure that out. Anyway, and then we got some more shelves up here. These were a real arse because this wall is hollow. So I originally bought some much nicer shelves to go up here without these dividers that are kind of annoying because they just take up space that could be used for more cases. But yeah, these were kind of annoying because the things they came with, they just weren't going to survive on the wall. Not when I'm sitting under it on my new sofa, which is also different. That was a real palaver, getting a sofa. That was an absolute nightmare. But anyway, yeah, this is my new sofa. It's very low to the floor because that's how I like it. I've got kind of short legs, to be honest. So yeah, this is like a 5 centimeter clearance from the floor. It's ridiculously low. If you're anything above my height, which is average, like 5'7", 5'8", somewhere around there. So yeah, if you're anything above that, this sofa will drive you crazy. Your knees will be in your face, but for me it's fine. Anyway, so yeah, I had to buy these metal things for these shelves to sit on, and there's 4 of those, or 2 for each one, so 4 for each set. But yeah, this is where my Shonen stuff is. We've got all of One Piece, Hunter x Hunter, Bleach. It's not all of One Piece, but it's all I've got so far. Naruto. I'm getting rid of my Shippuden DVDs. I haven't got rid of them yet. I'm collecting the Blu-rays. I'm not going to do that for the original series, but I am going to do that for Shippuden. Mainly because the original series fits in there so nicely that I don't feel the need to get the Blu-rays. Anyway, Giant Robo, Giant Eye thing. Unfortunately, really, really cool. I don't have room for it. It's going to be sold in the future. Everything's very dusty in this room. That's the downside of living in dark spaces all the time. Anyway, I got rid of my entire Bleach DVD collection, although it wasn't actually complete. But now I have the complete Blu-ray collection. I got a very good deal on that on here in the UK on eBay, so that seemed like a good idea. And Dragon Ball stuff. I wish at some point they would just do something decent for Dragon Ball on home video that didn't look like someone just didn't look like garbage, basically. Just kind of waiting on that. My Hero stuff, and then just random other shonen stuff. Yu Yu Hakusho, Fist and All-Star, Inuyasha, Yasuhime, annoyingly. Missing slipcovers on some of those. And my complete Attack on Titan collection. I used to have the collector's editions. I sold those. That paid for, as we go over here, by the way, my Switch 2. So yeah, I got rid of all my Attack on Titan collector's editions, and that paid off my Switch 2. And a couple of other things actually as well. But yeah, so there's my Switch 2, which honestly hasn't had as much play as I anticipated, to the point where it's even crossed my mind maybe I should sell it, but I'm probably not going to. But it's just a part of me, it's just like, that thing is definitely worth money, and I could get good money for it at the moment, but I don't know. At some point I will probably get bored of playing more PlayStation games and get that. But yeah, this is a new space as well, so before I just had this TV unit, same one. I did buy a new one, but it wasn't great, to be honest, so I've kind of converted that into a chest of drawers in my bedroom. But yeah, so it's my old TV, 32-inch TV, living the high life. Although, to be honest, like, this is like really old tech. Everything else around here is pretty neat, to be honest. Well, kind of. There's my media PC and hard drives. You can't really see it because everything's black. That's a deliberate choice. It's very dusty. Oh my goodness. Anyway, and lots of cables everywhere. But yeah, that's a really basic media PC there. Nothing. It's very slow. You won't be able to play much games on it or anything. Just the really basic stuff. But it's good enough for me. I don't need it to be a gaming thing as well, so it does the job. Like, that thing is so like not overpowered that I can't actually update to Windows 11, which might be a problem in the future, but for now it's fine. Anyway, and then we got my Oppo. My god, the dust does not show up normally as bad as that, but holy cow. Anyway, I'll have to go in there and do that. Yeah, that's my Oppo. So that's a 4K player, Oppo UDP203, very nice bit of tech. Very happy to have that. It's modded for multi-region as well, so it's very, very cool. And then we've got my PS4 Pro with Heroic Legend of Aslan, Legend Warriors Muso game, which I'm currently almost at the end of. Well, I've played through the story, trying to get the platinum, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. It's a bit of a grind. Anyway, label printer, camcorder that I currently hate. Anyway, so here we have. So this was all blank. This was just unused space. I had nothing here at all apart from some pictures that my nephew drew for me. Well, he drew, and I just put up because he wanted me to, and they look cool, I guess, for a little bit. It made him happy anyway. So, yeah, so I've put these shelves up. These are great. They were such an arse to get up because I'd already had everything in here. That it was such an arse to get these shelves in the brackets. I had to saw the shelves in order to get them to fit properly. It was a whole ordeal, but I managed to do it. So this is my entire Mecha collection, by the way, which is one of the biggest highlights of my collection. That gap there, and I think there's another one down here, or over here somewhere, is for Moss Speeder and Southern Cross, which I've got the American versions coming for that now. I caved and bought those DVDs for too much money. Anyway, and then we got the rest of my mecha collection. It's not complete, it's not every single mecha, but oh boy is it close. It's ridiculous. It's one of my favourite parts of my collection. It's very, very cool. The one thing that is basically complete is all of Gundam, which, like, before was just like a crazy like thing that I'd done and collected. I wanted to do it, but it was more like, before this was less impressive. Now they're all out of print and going for an insane money, it's now ridiculously impressive. Like, this thing is like probably quintupled in value. Not that I'm selling it, I want it all, but like it's just weird to me. I even have the first Hathaway movie that I imported just recently. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the dub, but I knew that anyway going in. But yeah, very, very cool. They're actually finally doing a second Hathaway movie. That was originally supposed to be a trilogy, and the first movie came out like 6 years ago, and they're finally doing the second one. Anyway, and then we got some just models and stuff. And then we got my Leiji verse section. I don't know if it's going to stay like this. It's very dusty. But because it has all the manga up here as well that I own. But yeah, we've got the Yamato manga and the movies and then the modern stuff, including the film from Japan with English subtitles that didn't come out over here. Galaxy Express, Harlock stuff and all the rest of it. I got Harlock on Blu-ray and DVD and stuff. The Harlock manga, Emeraldus manga, the Galaxy Express 2 manga that Viz did in the 90s. An awesome Leiji Matsumoto figure. Pop, I think it's like a vinyl. It's not like a, I was about to say pop vinyl because I don't know. Screw pop figures or whatever the hell they're called. But yeah, he's really cool. He was a bit of a holy grail. He cost quite a bit of money, not like insane amount. I mean, I'll be honest, like he was £80 before shipping. I think he cost me over 100 in the end, but oh my god, he's so worth it. Anyway, and behind him we got like the Harlock Endless Odyssey, well, I can't remember what it's called, Interdimensional Voyage or something, I think. I haven't read that yet, I plan to. And then duplicates of Galaxy Express 39. When it went out of print, I kind of caved and bought more. Not when it was crazy prices before it, like, I got them at retail basically, but yeah, I have those. They're brand new and sealed. They're backups basically. Even though obviously they're doing a re-release now, so whatever. I probably should have sold those when I had the chance, but I didn't. Yeah, I wanted them for like backup or trade in the future or something. Anyway, and then we got these cool models that my friend Dave also bought me. Galaxy Express, Arcadia, and the Emeraldus. Very cool. And a mirror type Galaxy Express thing in there. I need to find a better place for it. And then my NIS stuff. Going all the way along. That's the complete NIS collection minus Cardcaptor Sakura and Genshin, which are in the collection properly. That's the box that the Leiji Matsumoto thing came in. Macross Plus. And then my art boxes. This is a real, like, constantly changing thing at the moment, because I'm really trying to decide what to keep, what not to keep. Escaflowne might be on the way out. But basically what I've done here is, as you can kind of see there's a bunch of DVDs. So those are all like just empty cases. I had some like empty cases for like the Stelvia tin set. I had like my Saint Seiya volumes are up there. All my old Hajime no Ippo Fighting Spirit volumes that I don't really want to get rid of, even though I don't need them anymore. They're all there. And a couple of other things, just some random Sentai releases that aren't worth a lot of money that I'd rather just keep and sell. Things like that. They're all just stacked under these to give them like risers or whatever. So yeah, very cool. Some cool stuff there. But yeah, I might be getting rid of Escaflowne and possibly Azumanga Daioh now the Blu-ray's coming, but maybe not. I do like that set. Legend of the Galactic Heroes, the Speed Racer, Lupin, trying to get Fujiko there. That's from some Gashapon figures I bought. Then we got some, so we got the mecha stuff there, as we already showed. Ghibli, and then movies. This is all just random at the moment. It's not really sorted. Sports section, lots of really cool stuff there. Big wind up, best ever. All are free, which is crazy. How much room that takes up. I did a full watch through of that. I think that was earlier this year. I'm pretty sure. A few months ago. Really enjoyed doing that. It's really cool. The last two movies came out here in the UK English subtitles. I don't know why. Like Crunchyroll just aren't doing them. I don't understand why. They dubbed everything, including like the recap movies, although they're basic. Yeah, well, there's a couple of extra scenes in those recap movies that aren't in the series, and they dubbed those as well. It's ridiculous. Like the whole series was dubbed, got limited editions, collector's editions. These two movies have been out for ages. I don't understand. Like they're on Crunchyroll streaming, I'm pretty sure, but they're not dubbed, and there's no physical release in sight. I don't really get what's going on there. Anyway, there's the Blu-rays for Hajime no Ippo. Initial D stuff. So yeah, big wind-up keychains that I've had for ages that I've nailed into like the round holes for the shelf pegs or whatever. They kind of go in there. They fall out occasionally, but Yeah, the sports section used to be here. Like this is where it used to start. So the big wind up DVDs used to also be on this shelf. There aren't any holes really to put them up on this one. So yeah, big wind up's there, but the keychains are down here. Whatever, who cares? This is sort of like slice of life hobby show stuff, which is one of my favorite genres. It's not everything because sports kind of has a lot of that as well. But that's kind of where I decided to put it because these sort of shows are one of my absolute favorite genres. So yeah, it's just all of that stuff, and this is just some random stuff. There's 3 things I just picked up recently. I haven't put in the collection properly yet. And Pokemon Without a Home. It was over there where the giant robo thing is. Eventually, Shippuden going to take up all that space anyway. One Piece is probably going to move Hunter. This is all going to have to change. Is basically why Pokemon is currently over here. Anyway, I can't believe this is still recording. I haven't run out of space. It's crazy. Lupin. All things Lupin. This is everything, I'm pretty darn sure. There's a couple of things I will be getting in the future, like the Castle Cagliostro Steelbook, so I can have the new dub. I also want to get a couple of things from Japan that are somewhat supported in English. There's the the anime Kabuki, the Kabuki Theatre Lupin thing. That was it. That has English subtitles on it. I'd like to get that just for the hell of it. I also want to get a couple of other things as well. And obviously there'll be more stuff in the future. I assume we'll get the new Koike Zenigata type film and all that eventually as well. So anyway, this is like yokai, Japanese, like, horror and things like that, that sort of stuff. My brain is suddenly starting to fry because I've been talking for 17 minutes. I don't really know what to call this section. This is one of the hardest sections to really decide because there's plenty of stuff here that could go in fantasy, but there's just some stuff here that's just general drama. I don't know where to put it, so this is just this is not sorted basically, but this is kind of just drama at the moment. Like, it's just sort of awkward. I don't know where to put some of this stuff, but there's some crazy stuff in here. I mean, all of Aria, which I was fortunate to get. I really waited on that, and I got lucky to find it at a decent price. I basically got it at retail, or even cheaper, which is insane considering I think they were already out of print at that point. Kaiji, really really cool. But yeah, like stuff like Nobody's Boy Remy, Romeo Blue Skies, incredible recent releases from Animego, but it's just kind of weird. I don't know where to put those. And Woodpecker's Detective Office. I can't believe I have a physical release for that. I loved that show. Thank you, Anime Limited. I don't say that too often, but thank you. I'm so happy that came out physically. I love the fact I own that. Anyway, we got seinen stuff. This hasn't changed a whole lot, I don't think. Like, I've got a lot of the Case Closed movies. I might have had those before. Blackjack is gone. I sold that literally today, or I sent it off today. I saw it a couple of days ago. Because I'm getting the Blu-ray from Animego, so that's awesome. But yeah, Gunsmith Cats is a really cool one. Monster still there, not as exciting as it used to be, obviously. Anyway, Sci-fi, tons of stuff here. I do have the Dirty Pair Blu-rays coming, so I'm not really sure what to do with those DVDs. Obviously, I should probably move them on. That will be what will happen in the end, I guess. More stuff, more sci-fi. Sci-fi takes up a lot of room, and I have seen quite a lot of this. So it's kind of surprising because I always think, sci-fi, like I like sci-fi a lot, and I kind of think of it in my mind as one of my favorite genres, but I never seem to think of it as like, and what are my favorite shows that are sci-fi? And I'm like, well, I kind of like this, and I kind of like that. I don't seem to love any of it. I mean, some of it I do, but like, I have a lot of it considering I wouldn't necessarily think of it as my favorite genre, at least within anime. And down here, just the war and aviation stuff that I've mentioned in previous videos. And then 2D fighters. I like having this spare space, but I don't think this is going to remain as it is. As you'll see around here, I have my art book collection, which has been growing exponentially recently. This is really, really cool. I've really gotten into this. It's not a cheap hobby. I mean, it kind of is. They're cheap to pick up, but they're not cheap to ship. Like, every single time you buy a book, you're basically having to pay the same price again to ship it to you from Japan. So you have to keep that in mind. But yeah, it's really, really cool. I've got some really cool stuff in there. I'd like to do some more deeper dives on those in the future. But yeah, and then just above it is because these are obviously slightly bigger. This shelf is big enough for CDs. I don't have CDs in it. I do have anime soundtrack CDs. They're in my bedroom, which is where I build my models that I've currently been doing again recently. And ideally, I want to keep them in there, so when I'm building models and I'm not listening to the radio, I can listen to those soundtracks. So there's not really any reason to put them here, so I don't know what's going to go here, but it is CD size, so it might be that in the future, but we'll see. Anyway, Rumiko Takahashi stuff. I have some really cool little trinkets that are going to go on this shelf pretty soon. Down here is the otaku stuff, comedy stuff. I'm going to rush through the rest of this because I don't think this camera's going to last much longer, or iPod or whatever. Magical Girl section. I don't know why I have this. I can count the Magical Girl shows I've watched on one hand. I don't think I've watched any of these, which is really sad. But yeah, I haven't watched a single one of those yet. I really need to. Sailor Moon is the big one I need to watch, but I haven't done yet. That's the end of like the comedy or just romance, I guess, over there. Tenchimoyo in romance. You can tell I'm a man, I suppose. It's not the most romantic show in the world. Anyway, yeah, so in general, like romance and comedy and drama sort of stuff. Clamp collection. I can't believe how rare this is. I remember showing that off on Twitter back in the day. I got it in the sale on Right Stuff. I think it cost me like $14 or something. That Blu-ray is now like $300 or something insane. Again, if Crunchyroll can, I don't know why they're not. Why aren't you re-releasing that? I don't understand. Anyway, we're sort of going backwards here. So this is the horror section. Quite a lot of this too, which again, like there's a lot of stuff here I love. I wouldn't necessarily call it my favourite genre though. I like it when it comes to OVAs and stuff, and there's plenty of stuff I love here, but it does surprise me how much of it I have, because it's not a genre I think of initially when I think of my favourite type of anime, but yeah, I have quite a lot of it. And then similarly, actually, like superhero, like comic book heroes, Super Sentai, Tokusatsu, like, you know, adjacent type anime, even though it doesn't really make any sense when you think about it. But anyway, yeah, it kind of makes sense. I mean, Garo, you know, it's based on a live action Tokusatsu series, so yeah. Sort of, actually. I'm not even sure that even counts. I don't know. Kind of does. Yeah. Lots of really cool stuff here. Project Eiko in here. It could go in comedy. It sort of fits here, I think. Anyway, and then fantasy all the way across. Tons of fantasy. We'll probably do a proper longer video like this in the future. But for now, this is kind of all it's going to be. I have some... You're going to see some of my cheating in here. I didn't paint everything. This is still the old colour over here, because you can't see it where I'm stood. Like behind these I did the cardinal sin. Like behind these bitty bookcases is the old colour. Because I just figured, what's the point? I'm never going to see it. I didn't do it in here. I painted behind these walls, but in this cupboard space, I decided not to. So yeah, behind these walls is still the old colour, which is, yeah, cardinal sin, I guess. Lenticular One Piece thing that probably won't come through on camera, but it does look really cool in person. It's another thing that Dave sent to me, Rock Tachi, because he's way too generous. Sellotaped here, Hajime no Ippo scarf thing, Mofu towel thing or whatever. But yeah, I got distracted. But yeah, behind here I've got like these fairy lights that cost me like £1, yeah, $1 or whatever. And they're hooked up to this thing here, and then yeah, this lights up this, because otherwise it looks like, well, it's kind of hard to tell because I've got the light on, the flash on this, but I think you can probably tell it's not as lit up as it used to be. So turn it back on again. Yeah. So these are some more art boxes, probably a few here that I might get rid of in the future. I just want room for like nicer collector's editions there's just some stuff here that you know, I can get normal sized editions for. I imagine Discotek will do a Blu-ray of this, because there was one in Japan. It was upscaled, unfortunately, but it is a samurai show, mecha. Discotek will do something with that in the future, I'm pretty sure. Maybe Sentai, but I imagine it will be Discotek. And yeah. Anyway, so that's basically everything. I'm not really sure what else to talk about other than plans for the future, I guess. Like I said, like I'd like to do more art books, and that'll probably take up some space over there. I definitely plan to get more plushies to go along here in the future. Some Naruto ones I'd like to get, some One Piece ones. Again, I'm genuinely thinking I might get another shelf to go above it. And if I can find ones that are similar size to those Lupin ones, they'll probably go up there because they're a little bit smaller. I have a Maison and Koku thing that I'm going to put there. I'd like to get another of the... Well, I have others, but I need to get another frame. I'd like to put a poster there. I'd like to get something to go along here. Some stuff to go up there. But yeah, this is my collection, I guess, and whatever, the room tour. My beautiful Tales of Zillia PS3 still gets use. I'm still playing through PS3 games occasionally. Although I haven't done so this year, but I played through a bunch last year, and there's definitely others I'd still want to play down there, as well as ones I haven't actually got yet. Like I actually picked up this recently, Hajime no Ippo on PS3, and also this recently, Saint Seiya Sanctuary Battle. I'm looking forward to playing both of those. But yeah, I guess we'll quickly go over this since we're still going. This is my movie collection. There's stuff here that I'm probably going to get rid of because I don't really want to expand my movie collection beyond this shelving unit. I might move the video game stuff somewhere else in the future, but for now, I'd rather it was here as well. But I don't mind moving that in the future. That wouldn't be the end of the world. So I could expand a little bit, but there's a lot of stuff here that I probably don't need. But yeah, it's mainly like old Japanese stuff and Disney stuff. I've got the stupidest sorting thing. This is sort of a challenge to myself. I just wanted to do. So this is in chronological order, starting with Fantasia, and the most modern movie I currently own is The Last Jedi. Oh no, Solo. And then we got some Wes Anderson stuff that hasn't been sorted yet. This is also just stuff I probably will get rid of. It hasn't been sorted yet. But yeah, okay, let's just quickly go through this. I don't know if you'll be able to catch it on camera. I know it can be jittery and stuff, but this is my movie collection. There's some pretty cool stuff in here, I think. There's some really cool stuff that Shout Factory are doing at the moment. The Hong Kong stuff that I really want to get, specifically the Chow Yun Fat films, like The Killer, Hard Boiled, and the Better Tomorrow trilogy are things that I really, really want. I do have Hard Boiled and well, I have all those on Blu-ray already, but I want the new Shout Factory versions. Anyway, and then we got Galaxy Express, Maytel thing on my door. This is still my old door. It's gross, as you can see. And like there's like random bits of paint because my intention was to completely replace this door. I just haven't done it yet because it's kind of more complicated than I anticipated. I'd rather get someone else to do it. That's an annoying stain, which is showing up way worse on camera than it does in real life. But I don't know where that came from. I'm pretty sure it's a stain and not like a mark from it. I'm not really sure. It's annoying. I might have to try and find this poster again, or this Pachinko flag again, and figure that out. I don't know why I'm talking about that right now. It's not important. Anyway, Havoc plastic poster thing. I'd like to get a couple more at least. Yeah, I can probably fit 2 more of those down here. They fit perfectly, and there's not really anything else that's going to go there. So I'm in place. Thanks for watching. Hopefully there'll be more videos in the future, and maybe I'll even do them on my iPod, like this one. I know it's going to be blurry and not that great in terms of video quality, but man, it's quite convenient. I didn't realise I'd be able to film something as long as this. So yeah, I'm Blaze. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.